The WNBA has faced plenty of challenges over the years: unequal pay, underfunding, and constant battles for respect. But this is something entirely different. Project B is arriving with deep pockets, powerful backers, and a business model designed to outbid the competition until there's nothing left standing. With contracts rumored to reach $50 to $100 million per player, the WNBA suddenly looks like a small operation fighting a financial hurricane. Players who once earned six figures are now being offered generational wealth, and the league simply can't compete. Behind this ambitious new project are Grady Burnett, a former Google and Facebook executive, and Jeff Annis, co-founder of Skype. Together, they've built a league designed to dominate from day one. 6 teams of 11 players each, competing across 7 international tournaments spanning Asia, Europe, and the Americas. The league's headquarters in Singapore isn't a coincidence. It's a strategic move to position Project B as a truly global enterprise, one that transcends borders, leagues, and traditions, and they're not coming alone. Former WNBA star Elena Beard has signed on as chief basketball officer, giving the project credibility from within the sport. Add names like Candace Parker, Novak Djokovic, Steve Young, and Sloane Stephens as investors and advisors, and suddenly the picture becomes clear. This isn't a risky startup. It's a fully loaded power play. For WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, this couldn't have come at a worse time. She's already juggling tense labor negotiations, struggling attendance in several markets, and players frustrated over pay disparities. Now the league's stars, the same women who have carried it through its most successful era, are being courted with offers that make loyalty feel like a luxury they can't afford. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, these aren't just athletes. They're the faces of the league. They fill arenas, drive ratings, and sell out merchandise. But Project B knows that too. Insiders say they're at the top of the recruitment list, with Project B executives ready to hand out offers that could make even the most loyal WNBA players think twice. Imagine playing shorter seasons, traveling the world, and living in 5-star luxury for paychecks that dwarf anything the WNBA could offer. For players who've spent years juggling WNBA play with grueling overseas seasons just to make ends meet, the temptation is enormous. The WNBA's leadership is in full crisis mode. Emergency meetings are being held to address player retention. PR teams are scrambling to project confidence. And Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner himself, has reportedly stepped in behind the scenes, knowing that if Project B destabilizes the WNBA, the ripple effect could threaten the NBA's own global partnerships. Silver has seen this movie before. When Saudi Arabia's public investment fund launched LEV Golf, it suspended the PGA Tour in a matter of months. Players who once swore loyalty jumped ship for hundreds of millions. Golf fans were outraged at first, but then they watched. And in the end, the PGA was forced to merge with its Saudi competitor. Now, women's basketball stands at the same crossroads. Project B's strategy is cold and calculated. By targeting the most marketable players, those who bring audiences and endorsements, they're not just building teams. They're building global brands. Reports suggest that each player could also receive equity in the league's media rights, a revolutionary model that gives athletes ownership of their image and profits. It's not just money, it's power. Inside the WNBA offices, though, panic is setting in. Engelbert, once hailed as a steady, strategic leader, is now under intense scrutiny. Her decision to sell part of the league to investors back in 2022 for $75 million seemed smart at the time. But those same investors are now worried about losing everything. The capital was supposed to modernize the league. Instead, it may have exposed just how fragile the WNBA's financial structure really is, and the players know it. Social media has become a battlefield of opinions. Some athletes see Project B as the long-overdue validation of their worth. Others question the morality of partnering with Saudi money, given the country's human rights record and history of restricting women's freedoms. The debate has split fans and players alike, between those who believe women deserve to be paid no matter where the money comes from, and those who fear that accepting these offers means selling out the soul of the sport. Meanwhile, Project B's recruitment efforts haven't slowed. Players have reportedly received direct outreach with promises of charter flights, luxury accommodations, and international visibility that even the WNBA's most optimistic expansion plans can't match. The timing couldn't be worse for Engelbert, who's still struggling to finalize the CBA amid growing discontent over revenue sharing. With every day that passes, the WNBA's leverage shrinks. For Adam Silver, the mission is now about damage control. He's reportedly exploring emergency options, revenue restructuring, NBA-funded incentives, even creating cross-league partnerships to boost player pay. But these plans take time, and Project B isn't waiting. The league's infrastructure, sponsorships, and media rights are already secured. Its investors aren't chasing short-term profit, they're playing the long game, aiming to dominate women's sports the same way they did with golf and soccer. And make no mistake, this isn't just about basketball, it's about power. From Cristiano Ronaldo's $200 million contract to Livy Golf's hostile takeover, Saudi Arabia's sports empire has rewritten the rules. They're not just buying players, they're buying legitimacy. And now, with Project B, they've set their sights on a new prize, the global women's basketball audience, fueled by stars like Caitlin Clark, whose influence transcends the game itself. The WNBA's future now hangs by a thread. If even a handful of top players sign with Project B, it could trigger an exodus that leaves the league hollow. Sponsorships would evaporate. Media coverage would shift. Fans might follow their favorite players overseas, leaving American arenas half empty. For a league that's spent decades fighting for visibility, it's a nightmare scenario. Cathy Engelbert's latest public statements have been cautious, emphasizing collaboration and sustainable growth. But those words feel empty to players staring at contracts that could change their lives forever. For the first time in history, the WNBA isn't just fighting for respect, it's fighting for survival. As Project B's launch draws closer, the question isn't whether it will succeed, it's how much it will take with it. The world of women's basketball has officially entered uncharted territory, where billion-dollar power plays collide with decades of struggle, passion, and progress. The future of the WNBA may depend on what happens next. Will players choose loyalty and legacy, or financial freedom and global fame? Can Adam Silver and Cathy Engelbert find a way to save the league before it's too late? Or is this the inevitable moment when women's basketball is reborn under a new flag? Do you think the WNBA can survive this new Saudi challenge? Should players like Caitlin Clark and Aja Wilson stay loyal, or take the money and redefine what women's basketball can be? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because this story is just getting started, and the next chapter could change sports forever.